Okay, all right. So welcome everybody. My name's again Julie Niederhauser. I'm the Public Library Coordinator for the Alaska State Library. And each year, the Alaska State Library helps public libraries sponsor summer reading programs in their communities. We provide each participating library with a collaborative summer library program manual and promotional summer reading materials. So in the past, we used to send each participating library a paper version of the manual, and it was really heavy, and it cost us a lot of money to ship those out. So we are now sending libraries a USB thumb drive that has a PDF version of the manual on it. So it breaks the manual into various chapters, or you can look at the whole manual in one PDF, and it also includes all of the graphics, the line art, all of the reproducible forms as well. Every library that receives a thumb drive version of the manual also has access to an online version of the manual, and when I send that information out to you, I provide you with the instructions on how to access the online version of the manual. I'm happy to announce that Brian Pinkney is the 2018 artist for the 2018 Summer Library Program, the Children's and the Early Literacy Summer Reading Program specifically. Brian Pinkney is the illustrator of several highly praised picture books, including Duke Ellington and Martin Rising, the Requiem for a King. So it's really appropriate that we have him as the illustrator for our 2018 summer reading program, in which the theme is music. You can learn more about Brian Pinkney and his artwork and his various awards at his website, brianpinkney.net. So this year we did begin mailing participating libraries their summer reading welcome letters, catalogs, and thumb drive manuals in October. We really are trying to get the materials to you as quickly as possible, so you have more time to plan your summer reading program. In January, participating libraries should have begun receiving their summer reading starter kits, which is sent directly to their library from Demco, the collaborative summer library programs vendor that they work very closely with. And these starter kits are designed to support your summer reading program and get children and teens excited. Okay, if you're having issues with the internet, sometimes it helps to leave and then try to come back to the webinar. So I got a message that someone's having a little issues with their internet, and that might be an option. The other option is we are recording this, so you may want to stay on if you can at least hear us, and then you can watch the recording later. So the Alaska State Library will also be leading a session during the ACLA conference, and we will have a panel discussion, which is designed to inform librarians about the statewide summer reading program, the upcoming theme, and help librarians from every size of library share summer reading programming tips and strategies. We have panelists representing a variety of sized libraries. So our panelists include Elizabeth Nicolai from Anchorage Public, Anna Hernandez from Cordova Public Library, Claudia Haynes from Homer Public Library, Amelia Jenkins from the Juneau Public Library, and Ellie Job from Soldotna. So I have pictures of Elizabeth. She's at the left, Claudia's in the middle, and we have Amelia on the right-hand side of the screen here. And I'm so grateful that they have agreed to be panelists and share their expertise, because you guys can learn so much from each other. Okay. Well, hello, Heather. We have another person who just joined us. So why does the Alaska State Library help support summer reading programs? Well, unfortunately, it's a really a well-known fact that children experience losses in learning over the summer, and several research studies have been conducted on this topic. And the Collaborative Library Summer Program published a white paper on summer learning loss in 2014, and in this paper, they stated that socioeconomic status emerged as the single most constant and significant moderator of the relationship between summer vacation and academic outcomes. All children, regardless of their socioeconomic status, race, or ethnicity, or reading level, experience similar patterns of improvement during the school year. However, low social economic status children fall behind during the summer months. And this is the phenomenon known as summer slide or summer learning loss. So this isn't really a big mystery. It is all about access to reading materials and learning enrichment activities. So children from higher economic status have more books in the home, go to more summer camps, have opportunities to do more enrichment type activities than children in lower economic status. So summer library programs provide an opportunity for children in lower socioeconomic status to have access to books, to learning activities, learning enrichment activities, free to no cost to them, and it's really important to their future reading success. Research suggests that on average, summer vacation creates a 3-month gap in reading scores between middle and low-income children, and as low socioeconomic status children proceed through elementary school, their reading achievement scores fall behind national averages, and by the end of elementary school, low socioeconomic children are nearly 3 grades behind their higher socioeconomic peers on average. So we don't want those children to lose their reading skills, and this is why we find it so important to support summer reading and summer learning in your libraries, okay? Any questions on anything I've talked about so far? Hello, Glenn. Okay. Well, somebody had a question? Please, if you have a question, this is the time to ask me. We're a friendly group. If I can't answer your question right now, I'll be happy to look into it and try to get back to you at a later time. Okay. Oh, by the way, this slide is this achievement gap graphic on the slide is from the National Summer Learning Association, and they are a national organization devoted to making summer learning available to all children, but especially those children trapped in poverty without access to high-quality summer learning resources or summer camps or that kind of thing, okay? And I do have some links to the resources at the end of this webinar. We are re-recording the webinar, and we also provide a PDF of all the slides, and we post it to our archived webinar webpage. Okay. There was a question about where to find the webinar recording, and I will send out a link to you. I don't have it with me right now. I guess I could look it up really quickly. Let's go to library.gov. I don't have it memorized. I'm sorry. Give me a second here, library. I'm sorry, my typing is just not working when I'm distracted. I will get back to you with that. Okay, working to close the achievement gap. So again, the National Summer Learning Association is the only national nonprofit focused on closing the achievement gap by increasing summer learning opportunities for all youth. And they have a National Summer Learning Day in 2018. That will be July 12th. If your library would like to participate, you could host programming around summer learning on that specific day. And your participation would, send a powerful message that summer reading and summer learning matters. And it's just an opportunity for your library to show the kind of programming that you're doing for kids, teens, and even adults during the summertime. Okay. And again, I really do just want to, share the findings from the improve their reading achievement and prevent summer learning loss. Summer reading programs help children develop positive attitudes about reading and books, encourage children and their parents to regularly use the library together. Summer reading programs open up opportunities for community partnerships with your library and offer children a chance to just experience joy and make new friends at the library. And I think all of those are positive things. So how do libraries participate in the Alaska Summer Reading Program? Well, our Alaska Summer Reading Program is freely available to any publicly funded library in Alaska. In order for a library to participate, they do need to complete the online participation form each fall. We normally add this online form to our Alaska Summer Reading Program web page. And I'm going to go ahead and put that URL in here for you, in case you're not familiar. I noticed I don't have it on the screen. So that's library.alaska.gov/SRP. I think that should get you to the page. So we normally post this participation form in August. So at the end of your summer reading, most programs end by July. Sometimes they go into August right before school starts. So we put the new participation form for the following year online, and we leave it up until about the end of November. And the reason we have a short application period is that we have to order materials for all of the participating libraries by December 1st. And actually gathering all of that information and ordering all of those things takes some time. But we need to do it by December 1st so that you can get your materials as soon as possible. Shipping to Alaska can take a little bit longer than shipping to other parts of the country. So if you weren't aware of the program and missed the deadline, we do order extra sets of materials, so you can send me an email after this webinar, and I will personally register your library for the program and send you your starter kit. Okay. So hopefully everybody on here has registered for the program. I'm looking at the names. I think most of you have. If you haven't, you can send me an email. Julie Niederhauser at alaska.gov. Okay. So this year's summer reading theme is music. It's an exciting and engaging theme that I think Alaskans in every part of the state can really enjoy. Some libraries regularly include music in their summer reading program. On the slide is a picture of Ted Hart, Nels Lynch, and Sherry Kinnegak leading the Deshu dancers for the summer reading program kickoff at the Haynesboro Public Library. So in their opening event, they invited this local dance troupe in to kind of help with the celebration. In the preface of the 2018 Summer Reading Manual, Amanda Struckmeyer, who the editor of the manual, describes how music really positively impacts our lives. It brings people together throughout history and around the world, and it's been a social, music really is a social part of people's lives, continues to play a fundamental role in celebrations, self-expression, communication, connection, and daily life. So it really is an exciting theme, and it may be a nice opportunity to explore traditional and contemporary Native Alaska dance and music. You may want to introduce students to, some famous Alaskan musicians, such as, the state's balladeer. I think it's balladeer is how you say that, Hobo Jim. Being from the Kenai Peninsula, I definitely, had opportunities to listen to Hobo Jim, and that was always fun. To Jewel, she's another peninsula musician. Or the group Bam Yo-A, which is famous for their fusion of traditional Inuit and Yupik dance performance. You may want to invite local performers to your summer reading program. And the Alaska Folk Festival website has an extensive list of links to local musical performers, so you can find performers from your part of Alaska and invite them to come and share music with children from your areas. Oh, I see someone has offered the Blackwater Railroad. Is that a music group? I'm not familiar with them. Blackwater Railroad. Oh, they're from Seward. Awesome. Okay. So your summer reading manual includes several suggested musical themes. The children's manual is broken up into chapters. I think there's instruments, sounds of music, science of music, rock around the world, and styles and stars. And for each of those themes, your manual contains suggested resources, books, movies, music, web resources, and apps, as well as suggested games and musical experiences and STEAM activities that can engage children with music in a variety of ways. There's a really fun website. It's called the Kids Music Corner website, which allows you to listen to musical samples. So if you want to introduce children to different music genres, that's a fun way to do it. And they can listen to the music, they can watch musicians play their instruments and learn about famous composers. And there's a really fabulous clip on that website of a man in a symphony, with a symphony, and he's playing a typewriter. And it's really, he's playing the typewriter, they're playing their instruments, and it's this really cool fusion of, and it sounds fabulous. So that's just a fun website. So each year that I offer this webinar, I try to highlight some unique Alaska resources that celebrate like Alaska's Native history and Native culture. And the Sheldon Jackson Museum maintains a hands-on loan program for schools, libraries, and museums, and they have a collection of Native musical objects. So there's rattles, a dance headdress, dance fans, and they also have some really cool drums. And these are all things that you could borrow so that your children could see them and touch them and handle them. And it might be a neat way to then segue into some hands-on crafting of musical instruments using resources that are available to your kids. So there's a great website. It's called, I think it's called like Red, I see it on my notes here. Red TED Art, and they have activities for that will walk kids through producing 15 different types of musical instruments. So it's kind of like crafts, and it's a neat way to just kind of bring those things together. The hands-on part, the history part, and all of that. Okay. Again, that's Red TED Art, 15 musical instrument crafts for kids. And again, that's on the resource page. So the Alaska State Library is a member of the Collaborative Summer Library Program, and I mentioned earlier their white paper that they wrote. So CSLP is a consortium of states working together to provide high-quality summer reading program materials for children, teens, and adults at the lowest cost possible for the public libraries. And so by combining resources and working with their exclusive vendor, Demco, they produce materials designed for all of the members of CSLP and their public libraries. And that way we kind of have a unified program, and we have high quality materials, and we have it at a low cost. So it's really a win-win. So each year, a children's librarian in Alaska is invited to attend the CSLP annual meeting. And during this working meeting, CSLP members, representatives from around the United States, they gather and they plan and they vote on the upcoming summer reading themes. So this year in 2018, Ellie Job, the Youth Services Librarian from the Soldotna Public Library, will be attending the meeting. And in the past, we've had Claudia Haynes, Susan Jones from Fairbanks, Holly from and Holly from Haynes. I'm blanking out on Holly's last name. Sorry about that, Holly. So the CSLP exclusive vendor is Demco, and they have created an online catalog and order website specifically for CSLP members. So each of you can create your own login for the CSLP website. And then once you're logged into the website, you can then access this online catalog. You'll have to create your own Demco account before you can actually order the materials from this website. But again, it's just kind of a membership benefit. And they have also created some webinars that I can talk about in a little bit. So as I mentioned, the Summer Reading Manual includes 4 programs. There's one for early literacy, one's for children, one's for teens, and one's for adults. I'm always excited when I get the stats from our libraries and see that our adult and teen numbers are increasing statewide. So it's great that we're really reaching all of these various aged populations in our libraries. I think it's awesome. This is a screenshot, and it kind of shows on the right-hand side, you kind of see the table of contents listing the 5 programming chapters in the children's manual. And as I mentioned before, each of these programming areas, there's additional suggested book titles, movies, music, web resources, and apps to support that particular theme. And I have an example from one of the web resources from the instruments chapter. And this is how to make your own French hose, which this website provides information and instructions for creating a French horn style instrument, which I just think sounds really intriguing. And I would love to hear what that hose sounds like. My slide to go here. So I sent this out earlier to all of you about the CSLP on demand webinars. So if you're looking for specific summer reading programming ideas, you may want to watch one of these on-demand webinars. I have to tell you though, I have been unable to actually get this webinar to load on my work computer, and I don't know if it's being blocked by the state. But they also have a PDF of all of the presentation slides and additional resources, and those resources have been super useful to me. So you may want to give it a try and check it out and see if you can't watch it. And if you can't watch it, you can always access those the PDF of the slides. So that's kind of an overview of the statewide summer reading program, and now I kind of want to talk about, how do you plan a successful summer reading program? So one of my favorite sayings is fail to plan, plan to fail. And if anyone who knows me, I'm a huge planner. I love to do things in advance, plan out all the different contingencies, and then you still have things happen. So no matter what you do, but less often, right? So successful planning or programming requires careful planning. It really is easier to design and publicize and evaluate your program if you start by setting some specific goals and objectives. And these goals and objectives will guide your planning. So if you would like, everybody can go ahead and share a particular goal that they have for the summer reading program. I'll enter my goal. I would love to encourage more public libraries to offer summer reading programs to their children, teens, and adults. So that's my goal. So some of you guys probably have goals as well. And it may be some of these are goals that were from the MAN suggested goals. Maybe you just want to encourage the children to come to the library regularly. So if that's your goal, then you will probably offer more a variety of programs to get them to come to the library, right? Maybe weekly ones. So if you guys want to share a goal that you particularly have, we want to have our entire community participate. And this isn't just for kids, we want everyone. See, that's an awesome goal. And so knowing that's your goal, it's really going to drive how you plan out your program. So thank you very much, Heather, for sharing that. That's a terrific goal. Okay, so when you're planning, you want to think about the different age groups that are going to be participating in your library, and that you're probably going to have a variety of activities to accommodate the different ages and the different skills sets of the kids that come to your program. You need to determine, how children, teens, or adults are going to register for your program. Can they register online, or do they need to physically come into the library? Okay, I see someone, James, we have another goal. I'd like to increase our teen and adult participants. That's awesome. So think about how you want them. Is it going to be a different registration procedure for kids versus adults and teens? Maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe the teens can definitely register online, but you want children to come in with their parents because you want to promote the summer reading program, specifically some of the activities to the parents to make sure that those kids get there for those programs. Are you going to, when they register, are you going to give them a calendar with scheduled programs or a suggested reading list or activity list? Are you going to provide or offer incentives to encourage their reading or reward them for completing the program? are you going to need volunteers to do all of these things? And if so, what are those volunteers going to be doing? So there's a lot of things to think about. So January through March, this is the period of time when most people are like delving into the manual and they're coming up with ideas, talking to the other staff in their library about what they want to do for summer reading. They're seeking their speakers, they're lining up field trips. In February and March, that's the time of year when librarians are contacting schools and scheduling visits so they can actually go to the classroom and talk about summer reading. In April, you're going to be sending out flyers, contacting local businesses and asking for sponsorship if you are going to be offering incentives. And in May, right before school gets out, is when you want to get to those schools or daycares and talk to the kids directly about summer reading. Okay. So many libraries offer a Read to Me program for young children. A parent or caregiver reads aloud to the child and records what's been read, and libraries can also encourage families to read together. This is kind of similar to the Read to Me program, but it's expanded to include older children as well. And in your manual is a simple contract to promote family reading, and it's located in the children's manual on page 6. And I think this is fabulous, particularly for kids that maybe don't have some shaky reading skills, so maybe this would be a great way for them to have some great bonding time with a parent or a caregiver, be read to, and be included in the summer reading program if they can't read independently. So during your summer reading, you may want to share information about the importance of reading to parents and caregivers, and this reading is a family affair handout in your manual is an easy way to do that. So you could include it inside of your reading packet, your reading registration packet. Additionally, you may want to encourage children to participate in library programs using the incentive games, which I just think is a lot of fun. So it's incorporating activities with reading. So it's not just all book-centric, but there's a lot of things that, one of the examples on this one is if you could play any musical instrument, what would it be? Write about it, or write a poem, or complete a puzzle, and doing those kind of fun things. Change it up. So these are included in your manual, but of course you could change them to make it more specific to your community. So you could change the activities on this little incentive game. So we did have somebody share about we're looking to have our incentives come from local businesses, like read for a certain amount of time and get a small ice cream cone coupon, and this could be a family outing that supports businesses within our community. I love that idea. I know that some in your manual is actually like a little sponsor handout that you could print off, and businesses could post in their windows or on their doors saying that they're supporting summer reading, and I think it just builds that whole community buy-in, supporting the programming that's happening in the library, but also recognizing that business for supporting your program. I think it's a win-win. So when planning your program, you want to determine how children, teens, or adults will report their reading progress. So on this slide are 2 examples. You can do it by time. So for every 15 minutes that a child reads, they get to mark out one of the symbols. Or you can do it by counting books. For every book that's read, they get to mark off one of the stars. Various different ways to do it. It might make sense to do it one way for younger children and a different way for the older kids. The teen manual includes a library's rock bingo and a rock and books bingo, which encourages children to attend a variety of events and introduces them to a variety of book genres. So those are kind of fun. So you guys can incorporate those into your program as well. So, promoting your summer reading program, how are you going to let everybody in your community know about your library summer reading program? If you'd like to share what you've done in the past or what you're planning to do in the chat box so we can learn from each other, I think that would be terrific. Or you can unmute yourself and you can tell us what you're going to do for promoting your summer reading. Anybody want to share? Okay.
So last year, we did hit all the schools, like you mentioned earlier, to promote our summer reading program. And then I believe because we were talking mainly to the children, we did invest a little bit in printing flyers for each child to put in their take-home folders, because we knew that the parents are also obviously going to be the ones that are bringing the children to the library. So we wanted to get that message to the parents as well, which meant sending something home with the children in their take-home folders. So visiting the schools, I think, is wonderful, and talking to the kids and getting the kids excited about it. And we just wanted to increase that communication by getting it to the parents also. Of course, through newspaper ads and our community calendars and things like that. But I thought the take-home sheet was nice also for advertising and promoting.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So is anybody else on here on this list? Are you visiting schools? Okay. Okay, I think visiting schools is very important. I know at the JPL they actually come up with a little skit and do some book talks, and they do a variety of things when they go to the school. Your manual includes some skit ideas using puppets. They have a really nice invitation for personally inviting children to come to summer reading. I know that Holly and Haynes have done that in the past. So there is a variety of ways. This image of the records is from School Library Displays blog spot, and I just included it because I thought it was such a clever way of using those old LPs. And I know LPs are making a comeback, but I thought this was just a really clever bulletin board that they did, which was awesome. Each individual is like a single note, and together we create a masterpiece. On Pinterest, I saw several different versions of the same message, but I thought it was a nice inclusive message, and libraries could definitely do something in their libraries with that. Your manual also includes a PSA, some things that you basically just have to add your name of your library, the dates your programs start, and a link to your website, and you have a PSA that you can share. You can share it with the radio stations, you can send it out email blast, send it to the school district, whatever. Okay. Different ways to promote your programs. So basically, yes?
Oh, I was just going to mention that we did try a very, I would say corny, but it was fun, just a rap video that we did as the librarians walked through the library, talking about various aspects of what the library offers, and then talking about the summer reading program briefly at the end. But it was a wonderful 5-minute tops video that I took to the schools and played it for the kids to where they could see the library and see where you're coming and see how cool and fun the library space is, as well as just briefly mention programs that we offer throughout the year, fun kids programs like Star Wars Day or things like that, May the 4th kind of things. And anyway, I think that video did really perk up some ears and get some kids just excited about, ooh, let's check out this public space.
Wow, that's exciting. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that link. And that's a great idea.
I'll have to send that to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so promotion basics. You're going to make a list of people or organizations that you want to contact. As James mentioned, you really are trying to reach the adults as well, because they're the ones that are going to bring the kids to the library. You can do it in a variety of ways. We've already talked about emails, PSAs, flyers, a rap video. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can reach those people, okay? And again, here's just kind of an invitation that you can send out. And I know, as I mentioned, Holly sends out individual ones to the kids. And then when they come to the library, she makes she takes a picture of each kid. Each kid comes up with a goal for their summer reading and publicly states that. They even kind of look at the list of activities that are going to be held in the summer, and they determine which ones they're interested in going to, and then that information is shared with the parents so that the parents can kind of help their kids reach those goals. So when your summer library program ends, you'll want to thank everyone who helped make it a success, and you also want to evaluate the effectiveness of your program. Hopefully everybody on this list is familiar with the project outcome. They have already created a summer reading program survey that you can print off and give to people in your library, or they can complete it online, which will help you evaluate your program. You know, anecdotal information is nice to have. It's great when a parent comes up and says, "Wow, you changed my kid's life." That's important. But having some data that's like from a wide variety of people is also super helpful, because you're spending time, you're spending money on this program, and you want to make sure that it's benefiting the kids the way that you want it to. So in August, we will be asking libraries that participate in the statewide summer reading to complete an online evaluation and report form, which we link from that Alaska Summer Reading Program webpage. And on this online form, you will be asked for your name, the name of your library, the library contact information, and then questions about the number of children who registered or participated in your summer reading program, the number of teens that registered or participated, the number of adults that registered or participated, the first day of your summer reading program, the last day of your summer reading program, and how much money was donated to your summer reading program, and a brief description of your summer reading program and feedback on the materials. Notice that we ask you for the number of children that registered / participated. We don't tell you how to count the people that participate in your program. You can do it by how many people registered, or you can do it by how many people participated. We aren't going to make that decision for you. We just want the number. So that's up to you. But we really do read through all of the feedback. If you send us photos, if you notice, I incorporated photos in this webinar. We incorporate in our infographic that we produce each year. Hopefully you've asked and gotten photo release forms from all of the kids in your photos before you send them to us. That would be probably a good idea. But the information that you send us in this evaluation is really important, because our program is grant funded. We have to report on the progress that is made in your summer, statewide on this project. So we need that information from you. And so if you know about it in the beginning, it's easier for you to be collecting and recording that information as you go. Any questions about the evaluation at the end?
Yes, you mentioned the registered / participated. What you probably then, I can just see that as a little bit of an overlap in terms of if you do both. You probably just want one or the other, because registered patrons that are then participating in maybe weekly programming days. I know that in the past I've been just putting the people that have registered, not the number of children that participate weekly in our weekly programming. Is that correct? Am I doing that correct then in terms, I know you mentioned that it's however we want to do it, but I was kind of nervous. I didn't want overlapping numbers.
Right. So it's one or the other. And the reason that this came up was at the CSLP annual meeting, when we had all the states together, there was this disagreement about registered versus participating. And so in order to move forward, they just said, okay, it's either registered or participating. You get to decide. But the reason was before we weren't collecting as states consistently around the country. So we've all agreed that these are the things that we're going to collect from all of our libraries, so that we all have the same numbers. Pretty much, registered or participating.
Okay.
So yeah, James, don't double count people. If you don't want to count the registered and then every week add up the participating.
Correct. We don't want to do that. Correct.
Any other? No. Any other questions about the final report? I'll send information out a little as we get closer to the summer, just to remind libraries that we are going to be collecting this information. And I have, over the years, become pretty vigilant about libraries reporting. If you want to participate in the program the next year, I need to have your report from this year, because this information is again, it's something that we have to provide, to our funders. So, and it's not too onerous. It's really not too much to ask for. Okay. So now we have some time. We have about 15 minutes, and so it'd be fun to hear what you guys are planning to do for summer reading. So I'll just, I'll just call down the list, and if you want to share, like how you're going to use the music theme in your summer reading program, that would be awesome. So we'll start from the bottom. How about Susan? How are you planning to use the music theme in your library? And you can use the mic or you can chat. Okay. Kimberly. Anybody want to share? Okay, Kimberly, we're going to partner with our elementary school band music teacher with programs. Awesome. That's a great partnership using that. I'm sure your band teacher is excited about working with you on this program. That's fantastic. Okay. All right. And Jessica, how about you? Okay, James?
So we're looking at possible program ideas. We do a weekly program on Thursdays at 3 o'clock kind of thing, and we're looking to break it up into possibly kind of the way the program manual kind of breaks it up into not only music but also nature sounds, and we thought the science of sound. We have potential guest speakers that could come in and share with us some interesting instruments is what we thought might be kind of fun. So we have some local musicians that definitely play a variety of interesting instruments, and so we also thought that even with music, like the sounds of nature, we found a DIY which I thought could be fun, and it's making your own kind of whoopee cushion fart sounding thing, and I think kids will love it. So that's definitely nature sounds. But then talking about animals and things like that, echolocation with bats and whales, we thought was could be a lot of fun. But then even going on to a very general theme, since we're talking about sounds and music, we thought maybe just incorporating communication as a theme and doing some games with how important communication is, and even with games. And one game that comes to mind is kind of a minefield activity where you have to navigate a blindfolded kid through a series of just kind of a minefield thing, and they're having to communicate carefully about left and right foot, put your foot down kind of thing. We thought that could be fun. Possibly incorporating Sonic Pi, since we have that capability at our library now. Could be fun to do kind of a Raspberry Pi, Sonic Pi program. And then inviting musical groups and things like that. Yeah, so far that's what we kind of had come up with, a couple of ideas there. And then, of course, maybe dance groups too.
Wow, I love it. It's a wide variety of activities, and I think the whoopee cushion one sounds like hilarious.
Yeah, I think so too.
Going on in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so in Edna, you guys in Edna Bay, Susan talked about we'll have some grandmas volunteering to read to kids, also working on crafts and incentives, but nothing concrete. And so that's fine. You know, you have a couple months, Susan, to kind of look through the manual and talk to people in your community about finding out what you want to do. We have another text here from Jessica. We plan to collaborate with the Summer Enrichment Program here on St. Paul Island. I'm unable to hear most of what's being said, but doing my best to listen when it becomes clear. I'm so sorry. She's missed about 80% of the webinar due to connectivity. I'm very sorry about that. That really is an issue for some of our people who live really far away from us. Okay, so Heather, did you have a chance? Heather, Glenn, and Carol, did you have a chance to share what how you're going to incorporate the theme of music in your libraries? And again, if you want to talk to us, that would be awesome. So AWE is evaluating how we can support our libraries with summer reading content for our all-in-one digital stations with the music thematic unit. Okay, so Glenn, you must be from the people that distribute AWE. You're not a public librarian. Is that correct?
Actually, I'm actually directly employed by AWE Learning, so I was just kind of curious what Alaska was doing in support of Summer Reading Initiative, and this that we're trying to evaluate how we might be able to put some thematic units together in support of library rocks.
Okay, okay, awesome. That's great. Okay. And Heather, how is Seward? How are you guys planning to incorporate music? I hear something. Heather,
Can you hear me?
can you talk a little louder?
Hello, can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can hear you.
Oh, yay, you can hear me. Okay, good. I hope you can hear me clearly. Oh, look, the little blue thing is moving. That's good. Okay, so in Seward, I think, so I grew up here, and I just recently became the program coordinator. I'm really excited to serve my community, and I think something that Seward has, like, fairly newish facilities like the Sea Life Center, and then we have a brand new library. And so what I'd like to do is just bring all of these entities together. And we just got a brand new radio station, and so so for the first time, like, we will be working with the Sea Life Center and probably working with our radio station to communicate. And so that's really exciting. We also have a pretty well-known band called Blackwater Railroad, and they're really into music education because our music program in all of our schools got cut. So in our community, it's actually really hard for us to be creative with music because we really don't have a lot of programs that are musical. So, but we talked to Molly Good in Valdez, and we really liked what the Valdez Library had done with including their entire community. And because our community is so small, it just makes sense for us to include everyone just so that we can get everybody excited. So that's our plan, to bring everybody together.
That's fantastic. That's a great plan. So you're going to be partnering with the Sea Life Center, the local band, the radio station, and you're going to make it a community-wide event. And it's particularly important because your schools no longer offer music, and so for your children, this may be their only opportunity to really have some musical enrichment activities. So this is fabulous and sounds like really important work that you're doing. That's
Thank
awesome.
You.
You're awesome. Okay. So Carol, you're from the Nilchik, and do you guys have a plan on how you're going to incorporate music in the Nilchik? Okay. I know some people have difficulties with they may not have a mic available to them, so we'll let Carol off the hook there. Well, I want to thank all of you guys for attending. If you have any questions about your summer reading program, you can always contact me. If you are going to be attending the Alaska Library Association conference, I hope that you'll come and attend our summer reading program and get to meet with the panelists and find out how they will be incorporating summer readings in their communities, and it'll be a great chance for you to just network and learn from each other. I just appreciate all of you guys making time out of your day to attend this webinar, And I look forward to hearing about how you incorporated summer reading program in your community at the end of the year. So thank you guys all very much and have a wonderful day. Okay. If you have any questions, you can always email me. As I said, we'll be posting the recording of this webinar on our archived webinar webpage, which is from the State Library website under the For Librarians tab. And it's on that long list of things. I don't know where it falls, somewhere in, I think in the middle of that long list of links on the For Librarians webpage. Okay, so thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I'm so sorry that the woman from the Priviloft had such a hard time hearing